So when it comes to your lower body strength and size, no doubt squats are the king. But at the same time, squats are one of the most risky exercises if they are not done accurately. This is because spine is most vulnerable of the joints while squatting. So does that mean squats are not good enough? Squats are dangerous? Obviously not. In fact, squats are one of the best strengthening movements for your lower body. There are a few mistakes which people make while performing squats which contribute to lower back pain over a period of time. So this video is going to be about correcting those few mistakes which will help you perform safe and pain-free squats. So the first mistake I would like to talk about is buttowing. So this term is generally used when you hit the rock bottom, when you go full range of motion and your pelvis posteriorly tilts. What I mean to say is, your tailbone tucks under, resulting into your hips rounding. So this is what I am talking about. It's completely on you to keep your hands extended in front of you or to keep them joined. As you can see, I am going down in the squat. So ideally, this can be considered as a full range of motion. But what I am talking about is the rounding of hips. So ideally, again, I will show you. Going down till this level is still fine. It's a correct posture to be in. But what I am talking about is rounding of your hips. As you can see, when I am going further down, that is where my hips are rounding. So this is what we need to avoid. Performing such kind of movement over a time, and that too with additional load on your back, might cause spinal disc injuries. So as far as possible, try to maintain neutral pelvis. I will show you again. As you can see, this is still acceptable. This is still a safe squat, I can say. But again, going down, while you are achieving full range of motion, your hips tend to round. So this will cause you injuries over a period of time. So is hitting the rock bottom a problem? No, not at all. Rounding of hips is. It's a good thing if you are able to maintain neutral pelvis and still able to achieve the full range of motion. Most people experience this due to mobility issues in their ankle, hip, and also their hamstrings being relatively stiff. So a few mobility movements like deep squat holds, weighted ankle stretch, and also wall ankle stretch. These movements can be incorporated to fix the issue. In addition to this, some quick fixes also include keeping your feet stance relatively wider. So this is how we generally stand while talking to anyone. So what I am talking about is keeping relatively wider stance. You can say slightly wider than your hip width. As you can see, I have kept my toes facing outwards. And then I perform a squat. As you can see, keeping wider stance enables me to complete full range of motion. And also one thing to remember, as you can see, when I am going down, my knees tend to travel over my toes. My knees track over my toes. I have seen few people performing squats in this way. They go down, and while coming up, what happens with them is they tend to bend their knees inside, and that's how they struggle to get up. Imagine performing this kind of movement with bar on your back with loads of plate. This will really, you will end up injuring your knee, and that is not good for your joint in the long run. So the next mistake is rising from your hips first, which makes it look like a good morning squat, which might cause problem in your lower back over a period of time. Chest and your hips should rise at the same time. This is what happens with few people. So they go down in a squat position, and while coming up, this is what happens. So as you can see, their hips rise first, which makes their upper body bend forward. So imagine doing this, performing this movement with a weighted bar on the back. So staying upright and keeping your back arched will help you perform this movement far better and safe. So this will help you perform safe and pain-free squats. There is a reason why this happens. Your quadriceps are relatively weak, and that's where your body compensates by relying more on your glutes and your lower back. So the next thing is breathing. One of the most important things in one of the most fatiguing and exhausting exercises, I can say. We need to use a breathing technique which increases something called as intra-abdominal pressure within our abdomen, which helps us stabilize our back and reduce spinal compression load and lumbar load. So what I'm exactly talking about is, when someone punches us in our stomach, what's our first reaction? We try to brace our core, we try to tighten our core. So the reason is we don't want to feel the impact. So the same logic we are supposed to use in squats. So while performing squats, just make sure you get in the position before starting your rep. Just make sure you exhale an amount of air, inhale, and then hold the breath throughout the rep. So this is what I'm talking about. So as you can see, I'm holding the breath throughout my rep, and each and every rep I'm actually using the same breathing technique. And again exhaling, inhaling, and then going down. So this helps your body to be stable. You have a different body tightness performing this breathing technique. I'm talking about body tightness, I'm not talking about stiffness. So body tightness helps your body to be stable and makes your entire body look like a one single unit. Whenever you will perform squats, just make sure you film yourself from sideways. You tend to learn a lot from your own video as well. So whatever things I spoke about, whatever mistakes I spoke about in this video, I really hope they will help you improve your form and technique if you are a beginner. And as I always said, just focus more on form, getting your form correct. Don't focus on number of reps right now. So that's it from today, from my end. Until next time, stay fit, stay healthy, and keep moving. Thank you.